While some of the Brazilians have been having their problems on their home track here in Rio de Janeiro, let's consider the case of a newcomer to the series, the rookie Alex Tagliani for the Players Foresight team, fresh off a fourth-place effort on the streets of Long Beach in the most recent event. He starts today from the pole position. By 11/100ths of a second, he knocked off Juan Montoya to get that valuable championship point. And wouldn't it be something as he prepares to roll away and pace this field if later today this young man from Canada rolled into victory lane.
The glitz and glamour of open-wheel racing has crossed paths with NASCAR a few times in the last 2 decades. IndyCar stars Danica Patrick, Dario Franchitti, and Sam Hornish Jr. have joined F1 stars Kimi Räikkönen and Juan Pablo Montoya as the latest to try their hands at running big, heavy stock cars. While most, if not all of these open-wheel invaders have had little to moderate success in NASCAR, one driver seems to have defied the statistics and managed to have a fairly long and successful NASCAR career. I'm Alex Gallagher, and welcome to this 3rd edition of After the Flag. This time, we'll be looking at the career of former Champ Car star Alex Tagliani and what has helped him bring the glitz and glamour of open-wheel racing to NASCAR. A driver with a long and versatile career, this video will look to examine just how Tagliani was able to make that transition work and work fairly well. Sit back, strap in, grab your passport and a nice bottle of maple syrup, because our story begins in Canada and will take us all across the globe. Tagliani started his professional racing career in the Atlantic Championship in 1996. Scoring his first Atlantic Series win in 1997, Tagliani finished his 3 seasons with a total of 6 wins and 8 poles. Naturally, with Tagliani's rising success, it made it a no-brainer for him to make the jump to Champ Car in 2000. Signing with Forsyth Racing to replace the late Greg Moore, Tagliani would make his mark early. In only his 3rd start at the Rio 200, Tagliani opened the weekend by scoring his first career pole. Tagliani led the most laps before spinning from the lead with 9 to go, handing the win to Adrian Fernandez.
See if we can see it now in the replay.
It was Tagliani.
Tagliani way up high, just keeps his foot in it. Everybody else at the front had a clear view to the outside, but look at the parts starting to come off the car. Obviously, there's been contact there. Here's Franchitti down the inside.
As Tagliani continued to get better and better, he finally scored his first podium finish on his home turf by finishing 2nd at the 2001 Molson Indy Toronto. However, one of Tagliani's best races came at the 2001 Molson Indy Vancouver. After qualifying P1, Tagliani would go on to lead the first 68 laps of the race. It looked like nobody could touch Tagliani. That was until his gearbox would fail with 30 to go and the player's number 33 ground to a halt.
With the stick. Oh, what's going on here with Tag?
Well, he said he heard something. The telemetry may say one thing, but the driver is the ultimate authority. And now,
leading so many laps, and Tagliani's in trouble. Suddenly, a plume at the back of the car, and he pulls off.
The race would go on to be won by Brazilian Roberto Moreno. Following the 2002 season, Tagliani would be replaced at Forsyth with fellow Canadian Paul Tracy. When Tagliani landed at Rocket Sports, a rivalry was soon born. The on-track battles with both Tracy and Sébastien Bourdais provided the fuel for Tagliani to finally score his long-awaited first victory in Champ Car. At the 2004 Champ Car Grand Prix of Road America, Tagliani fought his way through the field after starting 13th. Tagliani led on and off throughout the race, taking the lead away from Randolfo Levine with 6 to go. Tagliani brought his number 8 Johnson Controls Ford home P1 for the first time in his career.
No, I never dreamed that it could come this way, but this race, for all these guys right there, I made them work really hard, so this race, they deserved it very much.
After a long-awaited celebration, Tagliani's name was added to a long list of drivers who also scored their first Champ Car wins at Road America, a list that includes 2 Villeneuves, Dario Franchitti, and Christian Fittipaldi. What makes this win so interesting is that Tagliani won the 8th race of the season, which was held on the 8th day of the 8th month, while driving car number 8. Talk about some Illuminati stuff. Tagliani would continue to perform quite consistently for the next 5 seasons, and by the end of Tagliani's Champ Car career, he finished his 8 seasons with 1 win, 14 podiums, and 4 poles in 131 starts. Tagliani would also have a best career points finish of 7th. Following the 2008 IndyCar Champ Car merger, Tagliani would be tapped to drive 3 races that season after his Champ Car team Rocket Sports elected not to make the jump over. Tagliani would earn his first full-time IndyCar ride in 2010, where he would be signed to drive the number 77 Bowers & Wilkins entry for the FASD racing team. Finishing that 2010 season with 67 laps led and a best finish of 4th at Mid-Ohio, the number 77 team would be absorbed into Sam Schmidt Motorsports for 2011. That season, Tagliani would manage to score his first IndyCar pole in probably the most exciting fashion. 2011 marked the 100th anniversary of the very first running of the Indy 500. Tagliani came into the weekend with a bang, claiming his first career IndyCar and first career Indy 500 pole by beating out favorites Dario Franchitti and Tony Kanaan.
You'll see the checkered flag, and I believe he's done it. The big two have been unseated at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It won't be a Penske, it won't be a Ganassi on pole. Instead, it will be Sam Schmidt Motorsports and Alex Tagliani.
However, in a bittersweet race, Tagliani went on to lead 20 laps before crashing on lap 147. The race would go on to be won by Tagliani's teammate, the late Dan Weldon. For 2012, Tagliani would move to Brian Herta Autosports to pilot the number 98 Barracuda Networks Honda. Tagliani would have 3 standout races that season, coming at Edmonton, Fontana, and Texas. He would also score his final IndyCar pole that same race in Texas. Following 2012, Tagliani would run 4 more part-time seasons before running his last race to date in the 100th running of the Indy 500. Tagliani would enter that race with one goal in mind: redemption. After being so close in 2011, Tagliani felt like 2016 would be his best chance to compete for the win, driving the number 35 Alf Honda for the legendary car owner AJ Foyt. Despite a consistent showing in practice, a pole day wreck would force Tagliani to start last come race day. Tagliani would fight his way through the field, and during the lap 104 pit stops, both Tagliani and Alexander Rossi elected to stay out and try to gamble. Tagliani led for 11 laps, becoming only the second driver in Indy 500 history to lead laps after starting last, with the other being Tom Sneva in 1980. However, following their pit stops, Buddy Lazier would bring out the yellow, and Tagliani would be stuck finishing 17th, the last car on the lead lap. However, Rossi's gamble would pay off, resulting in the win. Tagliani still believes this was the race that got away. While Tagliani was making a name for himself on the open wheel side, his most successful venture would prove to be in the NASCAR Pinty Series. Making his debut in 2007 for Jacobs Racing at Montreal, Tagliani would record his first win in only his 8th series start, winning the 2008 Edmonton Canadian Tire Series 100.
And it looks like Alex Tagliani as we ride on board with the Walmart Ubisoft Ford Fusion off the final corner. He's going to win for the first time in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. Steckley holds off Ranger for second as last year's champ comes home in third.
Following that win, Tagliani would start to make a more regular appearance in the NASCAR Pinty Series. Although only running a part-time schedule due to IndyCar obligations, Tagliani would make the most of his opportunity. Running part-time from 2009 to 2015, Tagliani would log 1 win, 8 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and 6 poles. In 2016, Tagliani announced his intentions to race full-time in the Pinty Series. Despite missing the season opening race at CTMP due to the Indy 500, Tagliani's 2016 would prove to be the best season of his career. In his first start of the season, Tagliani would see victory lane. For the second year in a row, Tagliani would dominate at Sunset Speedway, leading 161 laps. He would follow that up with another dominating win in the series return to the streets of Toronto, and then go back-to-back, leading 213 laps in Edmonton for his 3rd race of the season. The wins catapulted Tagliani into championship contention, and come season's end, he would finish 2016 3rd in the series standings. In 2017, Tagliani would run his first complete season in the number 18 Dodge for 22 Racing. This season would also mark the debut of a brand new sponsor, Lowe's Canada. Winning for the first time at the historic GP3R, Tagliani would finish an up-and-down season 6th in points. 2018 would see Tagliani make his closest run at the Pinty Series title yet. Following the 2017 season, sponsor Lowe's Canada would swap Tagliani's sponsor to recently acquired Canadian chain, Rona. After having mechanical issues at CTMP, Tagliani's season started out slow, but remained consistent with 4 top 5s in the first 7 races. However, after Tag's team would go back-to-back at Grand Prix Trois-Rivières, a flame was lit in the belly of the number 18. The win would kickstart a title chase that Tagliani had previously considered to be out of reach. Following that up with a win 2 races later at CTMP, and Tagliani was back in the hunt. Despite a challenging and exhilarating battle between Tagliani and LP Dumoulin, the Rona EpiPen team would fall 7 points short of the title. Tagliani's 2019 season would start off strong, despite being plagued with injury. After breaking 3 ribs in a preseason mountain biking accident, Tagliani opened the season with another win at the Pinty's Grand Prix of Toronto in round 4. However, Tagliani would be sidelined prior to the race at St. Eustache after contracting myocarditis and was deemed medically unfit to race the remainder of the 2019 season. The NASCAR Pinty Series wasn't the only form of NASCAR that Tagliani dipped his feet into. Starting in 2009, Tagliani would run select races in both the Xfinity Series and the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series. On the Truck Series side of things, Tagliani has made 5 starts to date, all coming at CTMP, running twice with Brad Keselowski Racing, twice with Young's Motorsports, and most recently with Kyle Busch. Tagliani's 2 best truck races would come in 2015 and 2019. In 2015, Tagliani's number 29 Ford was in position to challenge Erik Jones for the win. After trading the lead with Jones and leading 8 laps, Tagliani's truck would lose power on the white flag lap and go on to finish 5th.
Alex Tagliani is back in the Camping World Truck Series for his 3rd start. First 2 starts here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, 2 poles, and he was almost headed to victory lane back in 2015. He is chasing Erik Jones back to the checkered flag, but listen to what happens to the transmission in the 29. He loses 3rd gear and loses his opportunity to win. He is back in the O2 truck, trying to make it back to victory lane. First time in the Truck Series.
2019 would see Tagliani run a clean and drama-free race. Despite eventual winner Brett Moffitt being in a league of his own all day, Tagliani would bring the number 51 Toyota home in a hard-fought runner-up position. On the Xfinity Series side of things, Tagliani has made 8 starts, with all but 1 of them coming on a road course. Signing a deal to drive with Team Penske in 2014, Tagliani would score 4 poles, smashing track records at Montreal, Mid-Ohio, and Road America in the process. Tagliani recorded a best finish of 2nd, which he achieved 3 times. Tag's most standout Xfinity race would come at Mid-Ohio in 2015. After starting on pole, Tagliani would dominate the race, leading 38 of the race's 75 laps. However, in the closing laps, Tagliani would enter a tense battle with Regan Smith. Coming down to the final corner, Smith would give Tagliani the chrome horn, stealing away the win and breaking his own 52-race winless streak.
And this, one last-ditch effort as he gives it to Alex Tagliani.
Oh, he knocks him out of the way.
He sent Alex Tagliani wide. Regan Smith, right on the 2nd last corner, will win Mid-Ohio.
Tag's racing resume also extends to 6 starts in the Virgin Australia V8 Supercars and a combined 14 IMSA starts. Tagliani has also run at prestigious events like the 2005 Bathurst 1000 and the 2007 and 2014 Rolex 24s. When he's not racing, Tagliani likes to do a lot of charity work and work for his sponsors. Since 2013, Tagliani has been a proud partner of both EpiPen Canada and Food Allergy Canada. Raising awareness for something he has suffered from his entire life, Tagliani has been one of the most outspoken people in motorsports about the issues of food allergies across Canada.
I used it, it saved my life many times in reactions, and since my reactions are very severe, it's something that I don't take chances, I don't risk, and that's the message that I'm trying to promote, like while we're doing this awareness program.
His sponsor work hasn't stopped there either. Since Rona joined the team a few seasons ago, Tagliani has been super active in promoting the brand across Canada. Using both his dedication and passion for the Pinty Series, Tagliani has appeared in some hilarious commercials in Quebec for a multitude of his sponsors.
Bonjour, ici Alex Tagliani, je vais prendre votre commande aujourd'hui. Oui, c'est vrai, le vrai, en chair et en os. Première commande, yes sir!
Tagliani also launched his own charity, the Tagliani Foundation. He's also teamed up with fellow driver Scott Dixon in various charity events as well. Tag's newest project is the recently announced Tag e-Karting and Amusement Center in Montreal. The all-electric indoor karting facility will be Canada's first, and Tagliani will be overseeing most of its creation. The facility is set to open within the next few years. The future seems bright for Tagliani, who has no immediate plans to retire anytime soon. With the ultimate goal of winning a Pinty Series championship, as well as the CTMP truck race, Tagliani's passion and love of racing will look to carry him well into the 2020s. With the new 2020 NASCAR Pinty Series season swiftly approaching, a lot of things are now set to change. On March 3rd, it was announced that EpiPen would be leaving the number 18 team after nearly 7 years. With the departure, Tagliani announced a new sponsor, with parent company Pfizer releasing the news that former NASCAR Cup Series sponsor Viagra will join Rona on the number 18 Chevy for the upcoming season as a co-primary sponsor. Celebrating their 20th anniversary in 2020, Viagra has had a long history of winning in NASCAR, with the famous number 6 Viagra Ford driving to 3 wins, including the 2002 Coke 600. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Here are the details about how you can win a free set of rims courtesy of Alex's sponsor, Fast Wheels. Now, in order to win this fabulous prize, you'll have to stay tuned to Alex Tagliani's social media accounts. Over the next few weeks following Motorama, we will be posing a series of questions. These questions will range from easy to hard, but all of the answers can be found by watching this video very, very carefully. I'm incredibly excited to be a part of this opportunity, and for Alex Tagliani and his fans, we're giving away one pretty darn cool prize. So stay tuned, watch this video as many times as you need, and hopefully we can give one lucky viewer a really, really cool prize. And that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really do appreciate all of my viewers, as it really does make me happy to see that you guys enjoy my work. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video, and make sure to turn notifications on. This has been the 3rd edition of After the Flag. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.